It has officially happened. Zebec just got listed in yet another place, and it's something called Facet. So it's spelled asset, but then with an F in the beginning, so Facet. But I think this is pretty impressive, and I think it's a pretty major victory when it comes to Zebec, and I'll explain why in today's video, even though nothing I say is financial advice, and this is just my outlook. I am not telling anyone to do anything. But if we take a look at it, Facet has over 2 million users as of right now. Supposedly, it's even available in over 100 countries, and I think as a direct result of this, of course, it's going to give Zebec more exposure, more people might know about it, and also on top of that, it just makes Zebec a lot more international. So I think it is something that I find pretty impressive, and I think it is, again, a pretty major victory when it comes to Zebec. Now, people may be wondering, okay, what is Facet? Now, supposedly, it's this digital bank, so to speak, and kind of this all-in-one application that is seemingly very popular. Again, it's available in over 100 countries, over 2 million users. So again, by Zebec being listed on there, it's pretty impressive in my opinion. Now, people like to say, well, with this listing though, why didn't anything, if any, happen to Zebec? Like, take a look at it. They say it actually went down almost 1.5% in the past 24 hours. Well, why does this even matter? But this is kind of the groundwork when it comes to how I view this, because usually listings, or good listings, I should say, especially during a bear market or when the market isn't doing the best, it's not really going to immediately affect the project instantly like that. That's typically not how it works when it comes to this space. But it could matter later on, because if we take a look at, for instance, Cardano's native token called ADA, or let's say we take a look at Dogecoin or Shiba Inu or something like that, the listings that they had prior to the run that they had in 2021, and also during that run as well, and even as of right now, that greatly is going to contribute to what it does and what it could do. Because imagine if, let's say, Cardano's native token called ADA or Shiba Inu or Dogecoin were listed in really bad exchanges, especially back in 2021, it would greatly hinder its sort of progress, right? Not to say that it can't do anything, because they do have a very amazing community, but at the same time, good listings did help them quite a lot. So when people like to say that this listing doesn't matter because it didn't affect Zebec immediately, I tend to disagree with that, because this is laying down the groundwork, in my opinion. It's like, for instance, if I want to build a building, I have to build the foundation first. The foundation is the precursor to the building in terms of the floors and stuff like that. So I think this right here, it's no different. This is really, I think, something that could maybe help Zebec moving forward. But of course, we're not in altcoin season. We haven't seen a big change in market sentiment yet. So this type of stuff won't really matter too much as of right now in the immediate sense, but it could matter a lot, especially in the long term. So just as everyone thought that Zebec was kind of done for and that it was kind of cooked and stuff like this, we see another listing, especially at a time like this. I find that so impressive. And I think that when it comes to Zebec, the fact that it has a partnership with Stellar, with Ripple, it's just kind of the cherry on top, really. Zebec, as of right now, is in a much better position, fundamentally speaking, when compared to last year and even the year before. Imagine if in 2024, someone said that Zebec is going to have a partnership with Ripple and Stellar. A lot of people probably wouldn't believe that, but we do see it as of right now. And keep in mind, we're talking about a project here that is almost 3 times lower than its peak last year in terms of market cap. Now, people like to say, isn't that a bad thing? But it really depends who you ask, because personally for me, I don't mind the dip. That's the thing. I don't mind low prices. It's my friend, actually, the way I take a look at it, because I just don't mind the dip. Now, if I take a look at it as well, something that I find so impressive when it comes to Zebec is that we're seeing all of this, right? But we haven't even seen the full-on launch yet when it comes to the mobile version of their super app. It's supposed to happen soon, but if we take a look at it, they're doing a lot of things. They already submitted their application to the App Store and the Play Store and all this. So in terms of the mobile version, we're so close to seeing it. And again, we've already seen the desktop version, which released earlier on this year. But Zebec is still doing a lot of things. I think sometimes people take a look at the price charts and they assume that, oh, Zebec must not be doing anything, but it actually is, in my opinion. And the fundamentals of Zebec hasn't changed. It still has an aspect of ISO 20022. It still has an aspect of Solana. Solana Ventures is a backer when it comes to this. We take a look at Circle. We take a look at OKX Ventures. Still, Zebec I don't see what fundamentally bad happened to it. If anything, it improved. So it became better, yet the price charts are lower. I'm not going to complain about that. That's just personally for me. I'm not telling anyone to do anything. However, when I take a look at Zebec recently getting listed on a place like Facet, I have to applaud them for it just because this kind of came out of left field. A lot of people thought that Zebec wasn't going to be doing anything, and granted, for the past week or so, we haven't really seen too many updates when it comes to Zebec, so this is kind of like a breath of fresh air. Seeing how Zebec is now listed on a place like that, pretty impressive in my opinion. And keep in mind, this could very well create this snowball effect, right? Because usually exchanges and other platforms, when they see a project get listed in some premier places out there, that usually could help their sort of case in terms of being listed on a new exchange or platform, because sometimes people do take a look at the resume, so to speak, of a project, right? They take a look at the track record of it, and sometimes that does help. Because sometimes in exchange, they see, wow, it's listed there. Wow, this project is also listed in this other place. It kind of affects their decision making at times. So it's not a bad thing when it comes to Zebec. It's like, for instance, someone who has amazing work experience. That sometimes helps them for their next job. So it's a bit no different here. The more and more Zebec gets listed in some more premier places, the more it's going to help it, in my opinion. And if we think about it as well, now that Zebec has a partnership with Ripple and Stellar, if let's say there is a hypothetical altcoin season, considering the listings that it has now, it's just going to make Zebec a lot more noticeable and a lot more recognizable, because when people take a look at it, they can say to themselves, wow, something like this has a partnership with Ripple and Stellar? Seems a little bit legendary, because it's not something that is so easy to achieve. If it was so easy, a lot of projects would have already done that. And keep in mind again, we're still just around halfway through 2026, and we already see a Stellar and Ripple partnership that was announced this year. We already see something like Zebec get listed on a place like Facet. We're just halfway through 2026 here. We haven't seen August, September, October, November, December. We haven't seen that yet. And we're already seeing all of this when it comes to Zebec. It's pretty impressive, and I think in 2026, arguably so far, I think it's the biggest year for it in terms of its fundamentals. I think about it that way just because of the amazing partnerships it had, and also on top of that, the amazing listings it's had so far. So when people like to say Zebec is cooked, I disagree with that. I think in terms of its fundamentals, I think it's sitting at an all-time high in terms of the fundamentals. Not in terms of the price, but in terms of the fundamentals, I do think so. It's not reflected when it comes to the price charts as of right now, but again, the market isn't doing the best. It's not really going to showcase it currently. But imagine if the market were to take off. That's the thing. That's sometimes what I'm wondering. But only time will tell. Now, if we take a look at it as of right now, Zebec, the market cap is still at around 200 million. So it hasn't really done much of anything ever since my last video when it comes to Zebec. But again, it has done something pretty massive fundamentally, because now it's listed on a place like Facet. And not to mention, if we take a look at something in the case of Zebec, we already see how their cards have been doing pretty okay. We've already seen how their payroll, in terms of that, how that's doing pretty okay. And then now we have something like Zebec, which basically now through something like Facet has this global exposure. Again, I can't say that this is doing so bad fundamentally, because I just don't think it is. But as of right now, I'm still holding, I'm still waiting. However, hopefully I'll see you on the next one. It's been Lee the Captain. I'm out. Peace. Bye.